Broadcasting House here in Accra. My name is Gifty Eji.
I am Shirley Anand.
Now the headlines. Be circumspect when evaluating 2016 WASI result, says GES.
More than 200 medical professionals added onto the health sector.
On the international front, Zambia's President Edgar Lungu leads in votes counted so far. Now the stories, Shirley. Welcome back. Now 267 newly qualified physician assistants and certified registered anesthetists have joined the medical profession. This follows their completion of their studies. These medical staff will beef up the number of professionals in the numerous public health facilities across the country. At their induction in Accra, they pledged to give their all to ensure that patients receive nothing but quality health care. A report by Winifred Ifu.
The 267 newly qualified physician assistants and anesthetists underwent 1.5 years of training. The inductees completed their course in various institutions, including the School of Anesthesia in the University of Development Studies, College of Health and Wellbeing at Kintampo, the Central University at Pampam, Presbyterian University Agogo, and Nabita College in Tema. The rest are the School of Anesthesia, 37 Military Hospital, School of Anesthetists, Ridge Hospital, and the Konfuanochi Teaching Hospital in Kumasi. The chairman of the Medical and Dental Council, Dr. Erica Samoa, told the inductees very high standards of medical practice would be expected of them.
Physician assistants essentially should be trained by physicians and should be responsible to physicians. Because physician assistants perform duties that were previously reserved for doctors, they must necessarily be regulated like doctors are regulated. Because you're performing the functions that doctors perform.
The registrar of the Medical and Dental Council, Dr. E.K. Atupi, spelled out some of the responsibilities that go with being certified anesthetists in Ghana. For emphasis, they were made to recite the national pledge. Some senior practitioners, as well as parents, advised the inductees to treat all their patients equally, irrespective of their backgrounds. A physician assistant and an anesthetist spoke to GBC24.
I'm so excited today. I'm a qualified registered anesthetist, and I'm praying that I abide by the oath of the Medical and Dental Council.
Ideally, it wasn't easy at all. It was a tough battle. After the graduation, you have to come and study again and go through a lot of stresses before coming out successfully. I give all praise to the Almighty God.
They are expected to practice as interns for 1 year at the various health facilities across the country. For GBC24, Winifred Efum, Accra.
The Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Mr. Jacob Kor, says it is wrong and unfortunate for sections of the public to describe the result of this year's West African Senior Secondary Certificate Examination, WASI, as the worst in Ghana's history. He says statistics show that students' performance per subject nationwide was better than last year. Mr. Kor, however, advised the public to be circumspect in evaluating the 2016 results. His comments are in reaction to public criticism of this year's alleged poor performance in WASI.
As being circulated everywhere, as far as the WASI results are concerned, that is not good, is false. And I have data here to support the argument. Any person who wants to challenge the figures can go to WAEC, that is West African Examinations Council, and cross-check. We need to applaud our teachers. They have done a lot. We need to congratulate our school management, that is the headmasters, and at the same time parents who have invested a lot in the education of their children, bringing the results to this level, creating the impression that the Ghanaian child is not capable of studying. They are capable. the curriculum that we use in producing Kofi Annan and the Buziers is the same curriculum we are still using. Let's trust in the system, and wherever there are shortfalls, let's come together, because education is a collective responsibility, and help improve the system and not try to politicize issues.
All post-basic nursing institutions, including the ear, nose and throat nursing schools, are now affiliated to the University of Cape Coast for an award of Bachelor of Science degree in nursing with options depending on the institution. The ENT Nursing School in Kumasi has started the Bachelor of Science program with 54 students, whilst plans are far advanced to enable advanced diploma holders from the school to pursue a top-up BSc degree in nursing from next year. These were disclosed when over 40 students completed their studies at the ENT Nursing School in Kumasi.
Statistics from the Ghana Health Service show that many of the ear, nose and throat conditions that report at the general hospitals in the country are chronic and often unable to be managed by general medical practitioners. The situation therefore increases the number of referrals to hospitals, which ultimately leads to longer queues and longer waiting times for patients seeking treatment. However, many facilities in Africa and Ghana are understaffed, under-resourced, and have outdated ENT, audiology, and speech therapy services that impede early diagnosis and management. Based on these reasons, the training of ENT nurses was introduced in 2002. This batch of students were the last to receive awards for the Advanced Diploma Certificate in Nursing ENT option. The ear, nose and throat ENT Nursing School has started the Bachelor of Science program in Nursing ENT option, and affiliated with this addition of 42 graduates, the school has so far trained 293 ENT nurse specialists since it was established 14 years ago. Also, an innovation introduced into the school's curriculum is the sign language course to enable ENT nurse specialists to effectively communicate with the deaf and hearing impaired patients. The principal of the ENT nursing school, Haji Abdul Rahman Shaban, mentioned lack of teaching staff as one of the major challenges affecting the school.
MOH and ENT nursing school started an affiliation process with two of Ghana universities, NUST and University of Cape Coast. All the post-basic nursing institutions in the country, including ENT nursing school, have all been affiliated to University of Cape Coast for an award of Bachelor of Science degree.
The Executive Secretary of the Health Training Institution Secretariat, Christopher Bayeri, said the Ministry of Health is working to equip health training institutions to meet standards set by the University of Cape Coast to enhance effective teaching and learning.
You're still watching the news on GBC24. The Electoral Commission says presidential and parliamentary candidates who wish to transfer their votes must visit its offices from Monday, August 14 to Friday, 19. In a statement, the EC's head of communications, Mr. Eric Jakpasu, said the EC will start receiving applications for such cases from Monday. He said persons who qualify to transfer their vote must, among other things, be resident in the constituency which they want their votes transferred to for not less than 12 months. On the just ended re-registration of NHIS card holders whose names were deleted, Mr. Jakpasu said only 52% of the more than 59,000 people were re-registered. This means more than 25,000 people may not be allowed to vote nationwide in the December 7 election.
Now, the PPP's flag bearer, Dr. Papakwesi Indum, says Ghanaians should vote wisely this year by choosing the PPP candidates to occupy the highest office of the land. According to him, vote wasting is when a candidate is voted to power and fails to create jobs for the teeming youth, whilst the economy and health systems are in bad shape. Selling his message of hope to the people of Ofuase Ayribi in the eastern region, Mr. Indum described the PPP as the country's problem solver and called on Ghanaians to give him the mandate in December to lead the country for the next 4 years.
The Progressive People's Party (PPP) says since 1992, Ghanaians have voted for the NDC and NPP but have not seen much improvement in their lives. The PPP says it is seeking the high office to bring progress and development to the nation. The atmosphere was charged when the party's campaign train arrived at Ofuase Ayribi near Oda in the eastern region. The flag bearer took a walk through the principal streets of the area to acknowledge cheers from party members and sympathizers who had come out in their numbers to catch a glimpse of him. The team finally converged on their Yorubaman market for a Durbar. The national chairman of the PPP, Dr. Nialote Hammond, asked voters to vote for PPP for massive development. Dr. Indum's running mate, Mrs. Bridget Jogbenuku, said the PPP is in the political race to create jobs and change the lives of Ghanaians.
Now say about one, and said yeah, football team, Obiawani team. And you obey Bibiama, who said Bibias son of Bravo, now to man. And so can say, come home, near come home, that's a word to our moment and so as a social now can say, about me too. And then there, your mammy. Near Kaja must say, PPP, dear, Bassi about best same.
The Yorubaman spoke through their linguist, Ochami Omang Bwedi. He thanked Dr. Indum for creating jobs in the area through the establishment of a branch of the GN Bank at Ayribi. He entreated Dr. Indum to fulfill his promises if he is voted to power. Dr. Indum used the occasion to introduce the PPP parliamentary candidate for Ofuase Ayribi constituency, Mr. John Obriyeboah, to the crowd. 32-year-old John Obriyeboah is a businessman and an entrepreneur. The Ofuase Ayribi constituency is an MPP stronghold, but Mr. John Obriyeboah was optimistic that this year the table will turn around in favor of the PPP.
John Obriyeboah, ethnic problem na shepherd now. Obriyeboah 2 factories are at Chimansana. Obriyeboah she said, "Some boy, no from what to be now. No so many people ever done you anymore."
Dr. Pakwesi Indum said it is time for change and Ghanaians need a competent PPP leadership for development.
And about Winchen, on the Abasano, Abba, Eboto, Amato, Papa, Emmanuel, and Faso, on the Abba, Eboto, Adama, Progressive People's Party, Party of
The PPP hopes to make history in the Ofuase Ayribi constituency, looking at the people's response to the party in its first visit to the area this year.
The Muslim community in Wa, the Upper West regional capital, have marched peacefully to add their voice to the need for Ghanaians to guard the prevailing peace from right now through the elections.
It was a 2-hour walk for the Muslim community through some principal streets of Wa. They carried messages such as "Give peace a chance," "We need peace," "I am a nursing mother and I can't run when there's violence." They converged at the forecourt of the Regional Coordinating Council, where the Secretary of the Center for Islamic Da'wah Organization, Mr. Isa Tamim, presented a petition to President Mahama through the Regional Director of the National Youth Authority.
The will of Allah only tells us that it's only Allah who selects a leader. No human being can select a leader. So let the will of Allah be done. As Muslims, that should be our message, because that is all about peace.
The Regional Director of the NYA, Mr. Suleimana Mumuni, thanked them for pledging to preach peace during and after the elections. Mr. Mumuni said it is only God who chooses a leader and that they must accept whoever is legitimately elected as president in December.
Peace builds unity and togetherness. The opposite is true. Disruptive election destroy lives and properties. Disruptive election impoverishes not just the people, but many generations to come.
And still on the political front, Vice President Kwesi Arthur says the government will not sacrifice the current peace prevailing in the country on the altar of politics. He said any interruption in the country's peace and stability will not only stall development but disrupt the future of the youth. Mr. Arthur was speaking at the closing ceremony of the 2016 National Cadet Corps Leadership Training Camp in Cape Coast in the Central Region.
This is the 15th National Training Camp organized for students since the formation of the Cadet Corps about 60 years ago. The Cadet Corps was formed with the aim of sourcing recruits for the Ghana Army. However, this changed to a platform for training and instilling discipline and loyalty among students. Current membership is over 56,000 pupils. Students also benefit from other trainings such as first aid and emergency response, leadership and management courses.
I'm proud to say that the spirit of cadet establishment is spreading very wide to the extent that almost all schools wish to have one in operation. The Cadet Corps is a fertile ground for creating people who are really disciplined and can achieve academic laurels.
Vice President Kwesi Arthur, the guest of honor, spoke on a variety of issues including peace and stability.
There are many elections for us, and this is not the final one, and it should not be, I don't want to use the word, but it should not be a do or die affair. It is for us to progress in nation building.
Earlier, the Vice President, Kwesi Arthur, commissioned 2 projects for the Infantipim Senior High School, also in the Central Region. The first was a refurbished science laboratory funded by Talo Ghana and Gets Fund. The old science lab built in the 60s had deteriorated due to lack of maintenance, hence the facelift. Vice President Kwesi Arthur urged authorities to make good use of the facilities and cultivate a good maintenance culture. He said the government is committed to increasing resources for schools in Ghana to have the necessary tools to enhance the teaching and learning of science. Mr. Kwesi Arthur, who is also an old boy, together with his year group of 1969, pledged to support 10% of the total school budget towards the procurement of science laboratory equipment. The other facility commissioned was a state-of-the-art virtual library. The Infantipim Old Boys Association will offer an annual $120,000 package for the maintenance of the projects in the school. The Life Church also hosted the Vice President at a conference.
Well, coming up is business.
Welcome to the business segment. Agriculture experts in Tanzania say local grape growers in Tanzania may not fully benefit from the global increase in demand due to lack of modern farming skills. The experts added that most grape farmers don't benefit much from what they produce because their grapes are below international standards.
Recent reports reveal that global consumption of fresh table grapes is set to rise for the 6th consecutive year, going from just over 15.6 million tons in 2009-2010 to an expected 20.9 million tons in 2015-2016. This amounts to growth of nearly 34%. China, India, the EU, Turkey and Brazil are the top 5 consumer markets. An expert, Mr. Maganda, said grape farmers in the region had to review their marketing strategies in line with the evolving global market. The experts say farmers can learn a lot from training sessions organized in the area. Recently, the Unit Trust of Tanzania Microfinance Dodoma branch loaned 200 million shillings for a grape project in Bahi.
The Namibia Statistics Agency said annual inflation for July increased to 7% last month compared to 3.3% in July last year. The agency also said the GDP growth for 2015 has been revised down from 5.7% to 5.3%.
Hello and welcome to this segment of the news. My name is Janet Kwenu. Ask any businessman his trade secret and he's likely to tell you that for any business to succeed, it must properly execute an overall strategy. Technology today is key to maximizing this drive as it creates a platform to realize true business success. Perhaps with this in mind, some Fanti Kinke sellers at Yamransa in the central region have embraced technology by introducing mobile money in their trade. They say this will help them increase sales without handling physical cash by customers. The Fanti Kinke business is the main occupation of the indigenes of the town and has helped put their wards through school.
Perhaps the most obvious benefit of technology in a small business is increased productivity, and technology remains key for most businesses to compete effectively in any space. With specific regards to mobile money transfer volumes, the increasing use of mobile money is a driving force in the mobile money business. Many businesses today use mobile money in Ghana due in part to its stress-free nature. And it should come as no surprise that Kinke sellers are being innovative to beat the competition. This is the story from Yamranta, the home of Fanti Kinke in Ghana. My journey to the town revealed that some of the women who sell Kinke have embraced technology by introducing mobile money, which according to them makes sales easier.
When someone purchases the kinky and do not have enough money, we give them our telephone numbers so that they can send the money into our mobile money account.
The challenges of these women are enormous, especially if they are single parents who have to fend for themselves and their children. The business environment is sometimes not conducive, but they try hard to make ends meet. Some of them invest all their time and energy to produce the kinky, yet earn very little. Madam Ajwa Sam took the GBC24 team through the processes of producing Fanti Kinke.
The Fanti Kenke business is very good. It has helped me to cater for my family for the past 23 years. Even though I do not get enough money to buy materials for the Kenke, which is quite a challenge, I am hopeful that things will get better.
Once the Kenke is ready, it is packaged in polythene bags. Next, it is distributed to wholesalers who in turn sell by the road. Each set of packaged Kenke sells for 5 and 10 Ghana cedis. Saba explains the reason behind the packaging and why traders have their contact details written on the packaged Kenke and on their tables.
The reason behind the Kenke packaging is to prevent them from worm infestations. We also have the telephone numbers and our names written on them to aid customers identify the people they buy from. In present-day Ghana, having just one job does not quite make ends meet. So, the women here have upped their game by introducing other businesses aside the Fanti Kenke. I sell Fanti Kenke and Gari. The Gari is white and yellowish in color. The yellowish one is not colored but is produced from a yellowish cassava, hence the color.
The Fanti Kenke business is very lucrative at Yamranta. Day in, day out, these women hope and pray that the price of the raw materials used to produce Kenke would drop to boost their sales. Yet the challenges notwithstanding, they soldier on and take pride in the fact that they are entrepreneurs in their own right and are contributing their bit to Mother Ghana.
My crew and I commend these innovative Yamranta Kenke sellers who continue to pray that there will soon be a solution to the problems they face. For them, the most important thing is to stay in business and cater for their families. Perhaps someday soon, they will deliver hot Kenke right to your door. My name is Janet Kwenu, and this has been my journey.
Welcome back in sports. The president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyantakyi, has thrown his support for Mideama SC ahead of tomorrow's match, CAF Federation clash with TP Mazembe. A win for Mideama will boost their chances of progressing to the next stage of the competition.
Mideama is representing Ghana, and I think that on behalf of the GFA, I want to wish them good luck. They should rest assured that the entire football family is solidly behind them. We pray that they win tomorrow and qualify to the semi-finals of the Confederations Cup.
The Kenya Football Federation has confirmed the Pirates Beach in Mombasa as a venue for the first leg of the CAF Beach Soccer qualifiers with Ghana. The encounter comes off on the 27th of August this year.
The national beach soccer team, the Black Sharks, are expected to face their Kenyan counterparts at the Pirates Beach in Mombasa on the 27th of August at 3 p.m. The Kenya Football Association confirmed the venue in a communique to officials of the Ghana Beach Soccer Association. The Sharks are looking at making their second successive appearance at the CAF Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations. In a related development, the Ghana Beach Soccer Association has confirmed Mr. Theophilus Ama and Daniel Kote Nikwe as the unchanged head and assistant coaches for the Sharks. The two tacticians successfully qualified the team to the maiden CAF Beach Soccer AFCON in Seychelles last year. Meanwhile, 18 players have been invited to camp starting Monday, 15th August, to prepare for the Kenyan encounter. The players include reigning AFCON goal king Alexander Ajayi, captain Michael Sema, and the 2015-2016 Ghana Beach Soccer League MVP Alfred Tosu. Here are the 18 players invited by the technical handlers. Goalkeepers: Goka from Sunset, Ajayi Gideon from Teshi, Frank Mensah from Western Region. Defenders are Semabia Rubin Lali, Aziz Kofi, Innocent Kumasa, Harold Akwe, and Hussein Mohammed. The midfielders and attackers include Michael Sema, Alfred Tosu, Richard Osa, David Mensah, Matthew Lamte, Frederick Kwavi, Wisdom Aduka, Dekpe Eugene, and
Other sports. Up next is entertainment.
For children, especially the underprivileged, it is simple and inexpensive to have fun, but the memories are a treasure at no cost. All the children in our next clip occupy themselves with their homemade band while sending an important message to their parents.
And you remember when many years ago you were tongue-tied and couldn't tell the woman of your dreams how you felt. We are taking you back in the day to relive the song "You to Me Are Everything" by Real Thin. Perhaps this will strike a chord with some viewers. Enjoy.
And now to a local story. A survey conducted by the National Media Commission shows that radio stations in the Ashanti region continue to relegate women and children to the fringes in their coverage of political activities in the run-up to the December elections. Also, the two major political parties, the NPP and NDC, continue to enjoy a lot of airtime at the expense of other registered parties, while very little room is given for public education on matters relating to the Electoral Commission. The NMC's Executive Secretary, Mr. George Sapon, made this known in Kumasi.
The occasion was a presentation of reports of the NMC's monitoring project on political coverage and standards by the media in the Ashanti region. The National Media Commission (NMC), with funding from the European Union, undertook the project to monitor the political coverage by radio stations in the region. This was to measure the performance of the media in the region. The project, which spanned 7 months from January to July this year, sampled 10 of the radio stations through their program content and news. These stations included GBC's Garden City Radio, a public media organization, as well as OTEC FM, a private station. The NMC shared the survey reports with media practitioners and owners to help them to do self-introspection to determine whether or not they are living up to their responsibilities to the society. The Executive Secretary of the NMC, Mr. George Sapon, mentioned that the NPP and NDC continue to get the most coverage by the radio stations. Women and children issues, as well as the EC and the electoral processes, had a negligible coverage during the period of the survey.
If you were not professional and you wanted to be partisan, then you want the party that you like to win. So you want to talk about that party that you are interested in relation to what they propose to do concerning the problems that the people are interested in voting on. So if you are talking about this instead of what the people are voting on, again, even there you have failed.
The chairman of the NMC, Mr. Kwesijan Apinting, remarked that the report also identified the trend of reportage of the radio stations as well as their strengths and weaknesses.
Media monitoring is a very important activity everywhere in the world, and it is through the trends that we can measure our strengths, that we can see what we are doing well and where we may be lacking.
The chairman of the Ashanti Regional Media Advisory Committee of the NMC, Mr. Paul Edujimfi, explained that the survey and its reports are not meant to find fault with the media, but to serve as a mirror for the operators' own assessment of their performance.
Alright, so before we go, Gift, what do you think about the song we played? You to me are everything. I wasn't born. I came to meet the song.
Shelly, you don't have to be born before you know how to sing.
Did you enjoy it?
Of course. It's one of the most interesting songs to me. And of course, memories, you behind the scenes will talk.
This has been News Hour live on GBC24. We have this week coming up at 10:30. Make a date with us.